Okay. So this is my company logo. It's No Place Like Home. It's kind of like inspired by the phrase from Wizard of Oz, one of my favorite movies, when she like hits her ruby slippers. So yeah, just a little reference, Easter egg. And then that's my name, Camille. Anyways, and then do I click? Oh, oh. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is my client, Sarah James. I'm not gonna read off the thing because I don't. No one was. No. Anyways, so just a summarization. Sarah is a healthcare professional. She works about 55 hours. She's very devoted into her career. She also has a 10-year-old child. His name is Jonathan, and then she also has a boyfriend named James. James is not his biological son. They're just kind of like kind of got together like 3 years ago. James himself is a comedian. He's more of a C-lister. He also does streaming part-time. When they move in together, his like goal is to be like the kind of like the homemaker because he's always at home. So there's not really a point for him to go, go outside other than when he's doing shows. So that's just a little bit of information about the client itself. The goal of the house was to be very modern, but also have like more of a little twist to it, like a little bit naturistic. Sarah is very devoted into her health and also wellness, so she does a lot of yoga, Pilates, and then James is kind of like a little goblin. He's always in his little space, so he needs his little area. So the goal was to have their area also feel like a home, but also kind of feel a little bit unique, and just a little bit of wow factor. So I'm going to show you the highlights. So we're going to start looking at the kitchen itself. So this is the kitchen. This is ground floor. Some coloring, and then this is also more of the highlighting of the tile, the color of the room from here on out, and then the hardwood floor, and then kind of like the highlight of this island. So what I was trying to go for was let's say, a mixture of masculinity and femininity. So wanting to have like sort of a dominance, but also kind of play out throughout the whole house to be a little bit more welcoming. So there was a lot of changes with coming into this kitchen. I wanted it to be white, and then I didn't really like the white because it was just kind of too bland. And then I was all black, and it was just too dominant, and it was just a lot going on. But the one thing I wanted was open light. I wanted light to come in, but also a lot of green here because like that's kind of just brings the room more. So this is actually inspired by Frank Lloyd. He's known for his line work. One of his line work looks like kind of like a basketball court, and that's what I was trying to go for, just kind of like the curves and stuff like that. And then the tiling is more like inspired by German and Hispanic art tiling. This is from a German company, but I was trying to go for a Hispanic taste to it. And then the door, if you notice, it has actually line work right here. So it's not just a plain black door, just to give it more of like a pop or like contrast to it instead of just being like plain black, just kind of shuts you off. So that's the pantry right here. And then this is kind of like the kitchen. And then from right there is going to be where the dining room is, where I'm going to show you. So this is the dining room, also highlights as well. Right here, that door is actually where it leads to the garage. So you come in and then you also kind of just put your stuff out. Like I said, this is the door that leads to the backyard. And this is where the femininity comes into play. We just saw a masculine take, now we have a feminine take. So it kind of like correlates to each other. It doesn't feel like, whoa, I'm in a different room. It kind of like blends in really well because I still have some masculine elements to it, like the lighting or the drawers. So it kind of plays in each other really well. This is a very important area, so I wanted to feel very warm and very welcoming. That was kind of like the goal into this kind of area right here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and show you like the ground floor layout. So right here is where the entrance coming into the house. The first thing I want you to see is boom, living room, boom, kitchen. Very, very important spaces when it comes to house. I want you to be like, whoa, what's going on? The goal was to be open, very open, especially when you have a 10-year-old child running around. You want to be very, very open. So especially when they're having guests coming over, it's kind of like, so one of my favorite shows is Big Brother, and one of the contestants, her strategy in the game was to overall see what's going on. And the whole point of Big Brother is that you're kind of like eliminating each other. It's 12 guests, you're eliminating each other and until you're like last one standing. And her strategy was being in the kitchen and cooking. And it's like, that's a word strategy. But the way the house was placed is that the kitchen was overseeing the living room. It was overseeing the bathroom. It was overseeing all the rooms. So what you think is that she's just cooking, but in reality, she's knowing who is aligned and who is like partnering with who. So that's kind of what the goal was, is to see you overall, like your overall surroundings. You know who's coming in the garage, you know who's coming in the entrance, you know who's laying in the couch, or, you know. So I just wanted to be like an oversight view. And there's a lot of storage right here. Actually, under the stairs, there's a storage. So I wanted to incorporate a lot of storage. Study room right here. This is where James is gonna like have his gaming and a lot of his like kind of virtual calls with like his what's it called? His chatters, if that's what the term is. And I wanted him to be separated from everybody else because he's going to be loud, he's entertaining, so I wanted him to be away from the bedrooms, especially like the yoga room that we see a little bit. So yeah, and then living room, garage, and then as well as the kitchen. And then we're going to go to the bathroom. The bathroom was the most challenging part for me because how do you make a bathroom like interesting? Like how do you do that? So, and as well as how do you make it like feel welcoming? Someone made a good point that as a mother, when you're working a lot and as well as you're kind of like having children, it's hard to have your own like space, your own like personal area. And the most personal area is in the bathroom because, you know, who's going to come in? It's most private, intimate area. So I wanted to be very, very cozy. And that's where you can see a lot of masculinity, but also femininity coming into play right here. So there's a lot of gold embroiderments, wood, brass, metal. And also like a bit color, so it doesn't just feel too harsh, as you can see. And then there's like the highlights of what I used for the decor. And then just a side profile right here, as well as like masculinity right here showing. Oh, and then we have like the shower itself and then the toilet. Someone pointed out that they wanted me to close out this area. So there's like a private toilet room I've seen, but I was against it because I'm kind of a little bit claustrophobic. So just to be in a tight, cramped area is just not my type of vibe. So what I was trying to go for is just a little bit more open so you kind of see, but it is still covered by a wall. So if someone does walk in, it's not going to be like, whoa, you know? So yeah, that's kind of like what's going on. And then this is the ground floor. So, the first floor. So number one big thing is I wanted to have the laundry room its own big space, a dedicated laundry room. And I wanted to be upstairs where like all the bedrooms are at, because usually when you have all your clothes, you kind of just go into the hall, but it's also like covered. So it's not just when you're coming into the hallway, it's not like, oh, there's a laundry room. It's completely covered. And then you have to open doors and stuff like that. So it's very easy for people to like, you know, do chores and stuff like that. And then we have the bedroom right here, the primary bedroom. So this is where it leads to the walk-in closet, and then you have your primary bathroom. And then right here is the guest bedroom, and then as well as the guest closet. And then this also leads to the bathroom itself. And then right here is yoga room, and this can also be used as an extra bedroom, but there's only 3 people living inside, so it's dedicated to be a yoga room, as well as storage. And then right here is the 10-year-old's bedroom right here, and also its closet, and he has his also dedicated bathroom as well. And so I also incorporated a lot of windows, as you can see, just to bring in a lot of fresh air, and so it just feels a lot more welcoming instead of just feeling very confined. And then as you can see, this is the overall ground floor of the bathroom. So to be honest, was going through a lot of challenges with this project because the highlights that we were showing in the show was the bathroom and the kitchen. And I was like, kind of like, not upset, but I was like wanting to do like the bedroom or something like that would be more fun to play out. But at the same time, like when purchasing a house, the most key important factors when you're looking into is the kitchen and the bathroom, because those are the most expensive to renovate. So when wanting someone, let's say if this just was in the market, I want someone to feel like, whoa, this is something a little bit different, instead of just putting just white tiling, black tiling, call it a day, we're done. No, I wanted it to be a lot more welcoming. So that was the challenges, and then also a lot of the remodeling. If you go back right here, this was completely different. This didn't exist. This was actually glass, and then I had a different tiling, and it was a lot more bland. And I was asking people in my job for some criticism because I wanted them to be honest. Because when you're working with clients, you're gonna have people who are gonna criticize your work all the time. So it's great to have feedback and kind of turn that feedback into like something a lot better. And I like this a lot more. So I wanted something longer and decorative, something warm and like comforting, and then something covering the pantry so you don't see all your collective items, but also something that doesn't feel like too closed off. So that's what I have. And then for the bathroom, things I changed up is black and white. That was going for. This was a struggle. So to incorporate warm colors makes it a lot more comforting, especially when you have the lights dimmed down and stuff like that. So yeah, those were the challenges I was going through with this project. How much time do I have? 5 minutes? Oh boy.
You don't have to.
Okay, then I'm done.